about to be rich.
Most of the millionaires that you're seeing nowadays are not people who's working in factories. They are people who decided to take the time that they're in now and they decided to expand their knowledge in what's happening now. So that's in AI, that's in digital products, that's in just learning what the industry in 2025 is giving. And let me see how I can use that and apply my skills, my gifts, my talents to it.
I was able to buy a car. I was able to pay off debt. I was able to buy a house, right? I was able to double my income. What I'm making a year, I'm not making that on a monthly basis.
We made a decision to make money online together. And when we made our first $1,000 together online as a couple, it changed our life. We didn't have no list. We didn't have no audience. And we were kind of sketchy on all the systems.
We've tried so many different things before and failed,
Yes.
right? We've tried making our own course. We've tried starting our own community. We've tried selling digital products and it just didn't work out.
Right.
But for some reason, we figured it out with the perfect system that we have. And we're going to share with you guys exactly how we did it. Money, 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 money.
Is that a lot of? We didn't have a list. We didn't have an audience. We didn't even have a system in place. But as a couple, we were still able to make our first $1,000 together online. And this is exactly what we're going to unpack today on this episode.
And the interesting thing about that was we worked in network marketing. We had a brick and mortar business. We sold T-shirts. We had an e-commerce store. We tried many different things.
Many different things. And we pivoted from many different network marketing companies. And let's not forget, we also had a 9-to-5 at one point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what's interesting about that is we've made money before. We've made money with our brick and mortar store. We've made money in network marketing. We've made money selling T-shirts, but we've never made money passively, right? Where you got to do a little bit of work in the beginning,
right?
But to see you wake up one morning and you're like, ka-ching, you just made some income. Being able to make money online, that just changed the game. Because I know as a couple, an extra $1,000 for a lot of people will change the game, right? And when we made our first $1,000 online, it was like, oh snap! If I made 1,000, I can make 2,000, and if I make 2,000, I can go to 5, and I can go to 10.
Yeah.
So that seeing that as proof, it just completely just opened up our mind.
Right.
And it wasn't perfect because there was a lot of things that we did before that, and even going into the make money online game, that just didn't work out. So right. I can remember taking our first course back in the day. Our first course was Daniel Leslie, Course from Scratch.
Mm-hmm.
And taking that course, we were excited, but we still didn't make a course from scratch.
Facts.
But we learned a lot from it. Like we learned, your big promise statement. We learned just how to identify your ideal avatar. I think we took a Tal Lopez course at one point too, the e-commerce, how to build an e-commerce brand or the e-commerce brand something. I forgot what it was called.
Right.
And in that course, we learned advertising. We learned Facebook ads. So we've made money before in the past, but when we made money this way, it was just, it was probably, I'm not going to say the easiest, but it felt like it wasn't that energy pulling.
Right.
Like you didn't have to exert that much physical energy.
Right.
And I feel like that was the game changer.
Right. So what would you say that we tried before that didn't work so that the people could know?
Well, before we tried to sell our own course, and that was hard because you had to record the videos, you had to make the videos, you felt like the camera you had wasn't good. That wasn't so good. We tried digital products before, writing our own ebook. We actually wrote a couple of ebooks. I remember our first ebook was Turn Your Ideas into Income.
Yes.
And we worked on the graphics ourselves, and that didn't sell. I remember because we did a T-shirt, we had an e-commerce brand. I remember writing an ebook on how to start your own T-shirt brand.
Yes.
But there was a pattern that happened with all of these books. We would make them, and then they would just sit in our inbox.
Facts.
They would just sit in our Canva download file. And it's like, maybe we just didn't know about marketing, how to market them on social media. Like we understood marketing from network marketing, but we didn't know social media marketing or internet marketing or digital marketing.
Yeah. Okay, so you spoke about basically digital products. You
Hmm.
spoke about the fact that we had an e-commerce t-shirt store, and I guess I would add to that and say, we were in a few network marketing companies, and we pivoted a few times. So there was a lot of network marketing fatigue.
Yeah.
And we got to a point where we realized, okay, I am having to start over each time that I pivot to another network marketing company. And not only am I pivoting, but I'm also, because I didn't brand me and who I was constantly branding for the company. It just felt like a piece of our identity just wasn't a part of what we were trying to do. But we learned that later on after like 4 different network marketing companies that if we had to go back and do something different, we would make sure to build our brand and then network marketing within our brand. So that was we had a lot of network marketing fatigue. What else would you say that we had?
We had a lot of lost relationships too,
Mhm.
because being in multiple network marketing companies,
Mhm.
right? Being in the health industry, being in the financial industry, being in the trading industry. I remember having a buddy of mine. Like, if you know anything about network marketing, network marketers. If you no longer work in the company, you basically quit. And not all network marketers think like that, but some of them feel like you quit on your goals, you quit on your dreams.
Facts.
And I remember a very good friend of mine saying, "Man, I don't want to rock with you. Where are you going? Because you quit,
Right.
and I don't want to rock with quitters." And I was like, "Bruh, I'm the one that introduced you to network marketing. So how the
Yeah.
hell you call me a quitter?"
Right.
And I realized that he wasn't calling me a quitter. It was just how network marketing, that bubble that you're in network marketing,
Mhm.
how it keeps you in that zone where if somebody don't want to do what you're doing, they ain't serious. They're not gonna make it. They're not gonna go nowhere. And that made me just realize that, like, man, he's saying I'm a quitter because I didn't finish the company or I didn't finish what I started, but I never quit on my goals. My
Right.
goals have always been the same,
Right.
right? Even on this video that we're making, on this podcast we're making, the goals are still the same.
Yeah.
And the goals are right in front of me. We're still going about it. The only difference is I'm no longer using network marketing as the vehicle to get me there. I'm using a different vehicle.
Right.
So that was something that I had to learn, like with relationships. So like having that brand where you build it personally, you wouldn't have to build your personal brand over again. You would just get up and just transfer and go to where you need to go
Right.
and start up from scratch. So that was something that was like really, really heavy, just losing, not losing, but some of those relationships just kind of just, you're not as close as you thought.
Right.
You don't talk as much as you would talk to the person,
Yeah.
just the relationship side.
Right. So now, when we pivoted from network marketing, we decided, all right, we want to be able to make money online from home. And we
Hmm.
wanted to make it online from home, from the comfort of our home. And, because at that time, I think we had like 3 kids.
Yeah.
We have 5 now, but at that time, we had 3 kids. And it was just very important for us to just make sure to be home for the kids. And we saw other people doing it. So we was like, we
Yeah.
could do it too. Right.
Yeah. That's a good one. Most people, it makes sense because
Mm-hmm.
if you have kids, what do you want? You want the time to hang out with them, to give them the experiences. But in order to give them some of the experiences, not all experiences, in order to give them some, you need to have the money.
Correct.
So we were in a position where we had a lot of time, but we didn't have the money.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we did have the money, we didn't have the time. So we experienced both sides of the scale. So being able to see the online game, it was like, hey, what is the offer that I'm going to bring to the marketplace? Because we saw people making money and we were like, oh, the secret is they're selling something. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to come to the online world, we knew because of just having a brick and mortar or network marketing, you need a product or a service, right? And we didn't want to do a service because service requires your time. So we were like, okay, what's the product going to be? And that's when it started to get a little, I would say, muddy or a little, just complicated because
Right.
we had so many products.
And that's the next thing. The next
Yeah.
thing is if there was something that we did wrong, one of the things that we did wrong when we made the decision to, all right, we're going to make money online, we overcomplicated the offers.
Yeah.
We overcomplicated them. We had offer A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, right?
And they weren't aligned.
And they were not aligned.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the muddy things that Damo's talking about is one of the things is we overcomplicated the offer, you know. We learn now that, you know, whatever the offer is supposed to be is supposed to take care of a specific group of people, help with a specific pain that they have so that they can get a specific transformation.
Yeah.
And you put a price on that baby.
Yeah.
And we had, okay, but how about if this person goes through this and then the next stage is this? So we was over preparing for stuff that didn't even happen yet.
Yeah. You know, just let's kind of unpack that a little bit as far as overkitting the offer and having multiple offers. You know, what that means is because we were in a health company at one point, right? I used to be a personal trainer. So I worked in Herbalife. And then Felicia was in finance. So she was in Primerica. We would meet with a client that I was training and we would sell them. First, I would be training him. And while I'm training him, I'll be like, by the way, do you have any insurance? And by the way, do you have a will? And by the way, how you doing with your car insurance and your home and auto insurance? Right? So I'm making multiple offers. Even when we got into the online world, it was like, all right, I still want to sell supplements. So I need to be selling supplements. And on that same website, it was like, all right, we're going to be selling some digital products that don't even have nothing to do with fitness.
Right.
You know, digital products about money, digital products about budgeting. And it was just all over the place. So
Right.
what we learned is, yes, you can make multiple streams of income, but your multiple streams of income need to be aligned.
Right.
Right. So you want to have them in alignment in the same area. And but the first thing is you need to have one offer for
Yes.
one specific
Yes.
problem for one group of people. Right. And then once you know what the group of people you want to serve, what the problem is, let's get that one specific offer and then just deliver that offer to them.
Right. And you spoke about aligned. And I guess the last thing that we would say that basically didn't work is that we tried to sell instead of becoming aligned with, number one, who we were and exactly what we wanted to sell.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of identity transformation that we had to go through.
Yeah.
You know, because when you're in a few companies, you end up picking up the identity of the company.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like in life, period, unless you're like super self-aware. Even when you're working your 9 to 5, at one point, you know, it's like, how do you introduce yourself when somebody say, hey, what do you do? You're like, I'm a nurse, you know, because I was a nurse. So you take the identity of a nurse, but you're more than a nurse. And so being in those different companies, you know, you have a health company, you're like, yo, I'm a trainer and I'm a nutritionist. And then you go into an insurance company and you're like, I'm a financial advisor. And so what ended up happening is we picked up a lot of different identities over the years, not remembering who exactly we are as people. And so when we decided, all right, you know, we picked up all these identities, but who really are we? How do we get aligned with who we are so that we can make sure to not just sell people stuff, but number one, sell the stuff because you got to make sales, okay? But sell it to the right person while you're being the right person.
Yeah. You know, that alignment part is big because even when you decide to take that leap of faith, it's a little different for couples because if you're a single mom or a single dad or maybe your partner is not in business with you, you just have to come up with the idea and take action. You're not going back and forth with nobody. It's just you, and you, right? Like the movie with Jim Carrey, Me, Myself, and Irene. It's you, yourself, and y'all.
Right.
Right. So, but when you're in a partnership, you have to get alignment as far as who does what, right? Who's gonna make the content? Who's gonna make the website? Who's gonna be the copywriter? What's the title of the book? What's the title of your product? You know, what's the caption that you're going to post? So those little things, you know, if you're not clear on your spiritual gifts, if you're not clear on your skills and the assets that you bring to the table, then you won't know how to balance out the roles. So the alignment also needs to happen in your relationship as far as what are the roles that each partner play. The third place the alignment needs to happen too is in the home, right? Because if it's both partners, if you're a couple, both of you guys are operating, doing the business. So if both of you guys are working, who's taking care of the kids?
Right.
Who's making sure dinner is made? Who's making sure, you know, the kids are showering? And if both of you guys are taking care of the home, who's taking care of the business?
Yeah.
So, one of the things we did was we did 2 on, 2 off. I would be 2 days on the business. Felicia would be 2 days with the kids. And then she would be 2 days with the kids. I'll be 2 days with the business. But we would communicate what needs to be done in the home and what needs to be done in the business. So when the person gets into their role, they're able to just make sure we're making progress. Because sometimes the day's done and you're like, yo, I am tired.
Yeah.
What did we get done today? We didn't do nothing
Absolutely
to produce
no
any income.
producing
But we both
activity.
tired because you were cooking, you were doing laundry, I was mowing the grass, I was
Right.
washing the cars. And then you realize like, yeah, the home still needs to be maintained. The
Right.
kids still need to eat. But financially, your business is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So that was another big mistake we made, just not having the alignment. And we're sharing all of this because we want you to not make those mistakes, right? If you can learn from the mistakes of other people, it'll help speed up your process and then get you to your destination a lot sooner.
Right. Let's talk about what clicked for us.
Mm-hmm.
What clicked for us, being in the online space that made it like a no-brainer. What would you say? What clicked for you?
I would say the thing that clicked for me, it was Robert Kiyosaki. I'm trying to remember what the book was. I think the book might have been Fake.
Yeah, that
There's a
big,
book called
big
Fake.
Fake. Yeah.
We went to the library and I read that book in like 3 days.
It's
just
a
going to the
thick
library.
book. Okay.
Right. But in Rich Dad Poor Dad, he also
we
did
have it
mention.
here?
No, we don't have it.
Oh, okay.
In Rich Dad Poor Dad, he also did mention some of this stuff. But what clicked for me was he said, turn intellectual property into real property. He said, turn IP, which is intellectual property, your knowledge and your skills, your experience is something that you know, into real property, which is a real asset. And what he did was he took his knowledge and his experience and he converted them into books, right? And then he sells the books. So when I looked at that, I was like, oh, snap. Because we have a network marketing background, we know a lot about sales. We know a lot about recruiting. We know a lot about marketing. We know a lot about personal development, coaching, leadership, because we read just a whole bunch of books on leadership and coaching and building teams. We also, because we had e-commerce stores and Shopify's and Etsy stores, like we had an Etsy store that did over 6 figures. And because we knew a lot of these things as far as marketing and branding, it was like, okay, how can we package this knowledge and put it out to the world? And that was the goal. The goal was to turn that knowledge into real property, which can pay us. The challenge was every time we had to sit down to record the course and document everything we knew, it was just so much. It was like, man, I know so much. I don't really know how to organize it and document it and put it in. But everything changed when Felicia came home one day and she showed me this website and she was like, hey, check this out. You can buy products that are already done and ready made, and you could just rebrand them and you could just flip them and you could just resell them as your own. When I saw that, I was like, it's about to be a wrap.
A wrap. And it's so interesting because I'm a research queen. Okay. I'm a resource and research queen. And so like Dominique was saying, we took course from scratch. Course from scratch tells you exactly what to do. It's not that course from scratch didn't work. What happened is our mind just wasn't clicking. It wasn't it wasn't clicking. And like Dominique was good at, copy at one point, and I was really good at clarity. So I was like, how do I take the fact that I'm able to help people gain clarity and put it into a course? So when I found that website, and the website had like thousands and thousands of different digital products, digital courses that you can just teach from, I was so excited. But what was so excited and what was the clickable moment for me was the fact that at that point, I was aligned. We were aligned. We knew who we were. We knew who we wanted to help. We knew what we wanted to help people with. And the fact that I was able to go and pick based off of my alignment so that I could be able to transform somebody else's life and I didn't have to create it, life-changing.
Yeah, and that website, I think it was PLR Passive or something like that.
Right.
And we'll put the link for you guys below. But what's crazy about that is a lot of people get stuck in the creation phase. They're like, I'm not a creative person. I don't know how to put this all together. So it's like that right there jams you up. And that was us. We knew what we wanted to do, but with life and everything, it just wasn't coming into fruition. And that looking at it now, that's a legitimate excuse, because we could have sold the product without having it completed and just complete it as you go. Right? That's something that we've learned now, where you can just sell the framework and just execute and just do everything live in real time. But a lot of the reason why people get stuck is because the mindset that they have is it needs to be perfect.
And let's add this, right? We were stuck at creation, but when we were unstuck at creation, what ended up happening is we created so much,
Yeah.
but it just stayed there.
Yeah.
If you
Stay there.
go to our repertoire
Yeah.
of Google Documents, of Canva,
Yeah.
we have stuff back 5 years ago that we created.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, what do we do with the stuff that we created? And I guess the biggest part of that is once you get it, it's like putting it to action and just like making it work.
Yeah.
And so this is from the creation standpoint, and this is from the buying of a PLR product. Tell them what a PLR product is.
A PLR product is a private label rights product where somebody created a product, they created an ebook or they created a course, they created something, and you can buy it and you own the rights to that product, where you can rebrand it and sell it now as your own. So what that does is that speed up the time where you don't have to spend time creating the product from scratch. You can just go out there and just buy something that somebody already created, buy the rights to it, and use it. It's just like McDonald's. You don't have to start your own fast food chain. You can go out and buy the licensing right through franchising to open a McDonald's. The thing with McDonald's is you can't rebrand it and you can't rechange it. You got to take it as is. PLR, you can brand it, you could change it, you could do whatever you want to it because it's now yours. Something else that clicked for us too, as I'm sitting here, was our messaging. Right? We took a deep dive understanding who we were, what we went through, the problems, the pains, and the challenges that we had personally, the desires that we had, and the direction and where we wanted to go with our future. And then we just took inventory of that, and then we kind of just looked at that to find out, man, this is what you went through, this is what you like, this is what you don't like, this is where you would like to be 2, 3, 5 years from now. So let's walk in that direction. So what do I mean by that? We're married, we have kids, we've been in entrepreneurship for over the last 10 years. We want time freedom, we want money freedom, we want to be able to give our kids the best experiences ever. And we also want to not sacrifice our relationship. So and plus also we're we're faith based. We believe in, we believe in God. We believe in Jesus Christ as the Lord and Savior. So it's like, now, how do I implement all of that into my day-to-day actions? So now when we show up, we're just showing up as your authentic self.
Yeah.
So once we were able to get the messaging and the identity of who we are and where the product direction was going to be, it just made everything just a lot much more, kind of unlocked everything for us.
It was just clicking.
It was just clicking.
It was clicking.
So once we got everything clicking, the next thing was the product, right? What was going to be the product that we were going to introduce to the marketplace that we believed in, that helped the people that we wanted to serve? And Felicia, you wanna let them know what that was? You want to reveal that?
Listen, the product that helped us make our first $1,000 was DWA.
Yeah.
Digital Wealth Academy. And it was so interesting when I found that product and we bought the product and I deep dive into it, because I'm not about to sell something that I didn't actually go deep dive in. And I was like, babe, look at this. They have how to do it YouTube. They have how to do it Amazon. They have how to do digital product. They have how to write your first ebook. It has how to do a course. I said everything that we wanted to be able to share to the world and teach the world, that we wanted to use Course from Scratch by Danielle Leslie to do, it has it.
Yeah.
And I said, this is it.
Yeah. It was like a wow moment, because some of the stuff that we experienced, we saw already recorded in a video. So for example, we do Amazon affiliates, right? We do reviews for products and we upload them to Amazon and we generate income. We also do content creation, YouTube channel. We also do Amazon KDP, right? Writing books. So these were all of the things that we wanted to put in our course. So when we saw, we all, content, we believe that content is a great way to market yourself, promote yourself, and to build a personal brand, especially in 2025. So when we saw all of these videos, it was like, let me see if the quality of the videos are good.
Right.
And when we looked at it, it was like, oh, snap, wow. So we saw a course that talked about everything we talked about and more, and it gave us the right to resell it back and keep 100% of the profits.
Correct.
So when we saw that, it was like, oh, snap, we just made a course.
Yeah.
We just made. Now we didn't make the course, but because of our PLR rights and DWA at the time was MRR, master resale rights, where you couldn't change it, but you could buy it and sell it as your own with 100% profit.
Right.
So when we got that, it was like, yo, we already believed in digital products. We already knew that this was the way to go. We already knew we wanted to sell that. Now it was just a matter of, let's just talk about what we like. And when people ask you, hey, how do you make money off Amazon? Hey, DWA.
Right.
Hey, how did you get your book published on Amazon KDP? DWA. Hey, how did you get monetized on YouTube? DWA. Hey, how do you know what type of content, like how do you edit your videos on TikTok? Like how do you know how to do all of that? DWA. So it wasn't really selling a course. We were just talking about what we've been doing, the stuff that we were doing since like 2021, 2022. Right. So we were just telling people what we were doing. The challenge is when we told people what we were doing, they would ask us how you were doing it. And we did not have a blueprint or a course documented to tell them. So it was like, hey, you got like a 15-minute, let's get on the phone and I'll tell you. And then that 15-minute conversation be an hour conversation. And we weren't getting paid. So now it was like, yo, just go grab just grab DWA. Here's the link, go buy it. And they will buy it, boom, and then we would get paid. They would get access, and then we would give them coaching. We would give them tips. We would give them advice on how to properly use the course.
And that was the shift, right? So the shift was, okay, I have this product now. And since I have this product, I still want me in it. The realness, the authenticity, the genuineness, the community, the helping aspect of it. It wasn't just to get a product to sell it. It was to get a product to be able to help people, many people be able to implement those things. A lot of times people will buy these courses, they would buy these products, but they don't know exactly how to implement them. And so when we speak about our messaging and who we are, we knew, okay, I want to help that parent. I want to help that couple. I want to help that married couple. And I want to show them how to bring in that extra $1,000 outside of their 9 to 5. And so that they can have the quality of life that they wanted and then go above $1,000 a month and be able to do more because the resources are out there. The challenge was that the resources are out there and it's scattered and it's a lot. So like to make money in 2025 is simple. You just got to figure out which way you want to do it. But it's just all about, there's a lot of information and there's something that's called information overload.
Yeah.
And so we decided, hey, we're going to use the aspect of DWA, but we're going to also provide a community for couples, for people who went through or who's going through the things that we went through so that they don't have to step on those landmines, so that they don't have to go through what we went through, and so that we could give them guidance.
Yeah, I want to give you guys a simple framework that we've always used just since the beginning. And it's kept us aligned, kept us in order. And this is the same framework we give our clients, right? It's called MAPS, right? MAPS. It's mindset, audience, problem, product, system, and strategy, right? We spoke about the mindset. We spoke about the audience you want to serve. We spoke about the problem they have. We spoke about the product that you're going to use as the solution. Then you need a system to deliver everything. DWA was our system. And then you need a strategy, right? So once you have all of those things put together, then generating income is just now check off every box and go out and take action.
Take massive action.
Which is what we did not do.
Yeah.
Because that's another mistake, because the mind will play tricks on you. And this goes back to the alignment piece again, right? We did not have the alignment with ourselves. So even when we did get DWA, it was still like a little bit of stalling. It was like, I don't know, I didn't make it, so I wish I could change this. I
Mhm.
wish I could change the logo.
Mhm.
I wish I could change this. I would. It was just a whole bunch of back and forth. And going back now, I wish we would have launched a lot faster.
Mhm.
Even though everything was perfect, it was like, man, dream come true.
Mhm.
We still was a little bit delayed, right?
Right. Since you brought that up, let's talk about that. Let's unpack that. What is it that you did that you wish that you would have did differently? So you said just now, I wish I would have just took action and just did it right away.
I think it was a little bit of imposter syndrome.
Mm.
I think it was a little bit of, hey, you do Amazon affiliates and yeah, you do YouTube, but at the time it's like we were making maybe like $40,
Mhm.
$50 a
Mhm.
month. So you had to wait every 2-3 months for
Mhm.
YouTube to pay you out because YouTube pay you out over
Yeah.
$100,
Right.
right? Or Amazon affiliate, we probably was making like $60 a month.
Right.
Or KDPs, probably
Mhm.
sell like 2-3 books a month.
Mhm.
So within yourself, you're like, hey, I'm not making seven
Mhm.
figures doing this. So how am I qualified to help somebody?
Right.
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 And it wasn't until we learned that, hey, you are qualified because you could show somebody how to go from step A to step B.
Mhm.
Step A to B could just be how to set up.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the monetization part. It could just be the how to set up.
Yeah.
So we were set up and we knew how to monetize. We just did not have the 7-figure accounts. So it was like, that imposter syndrome just played at you as far as how do I go about getting this done?
Right, right. So Dominique said something that's very powerful. A lot of time we want to give people the transformation of the full picture, but not being yourself, not being at that full envisioned picture that you see yourself at will cause stagnation. And so what ends up happening is, like he said, like in digital products, and I'll give marketing. In marketing, there's so many different steps. There's steps from A to Z. You may know step A, B, C, but you're not on G yet. But guess what? With A, B, C, somebody is still able to get that transformation that you went through. And that right there could change someone's life. So understand that because you know A, you know B, give them what you already know, because that small win, guess what? It's still a win regardless.
Yeah. And, once you start getting those wins, that's huge because now it just changes your marriage, it changes your relationship, it changes your quality of life. Because let's say you're struggling financially and you're able to make that extra $1,000, that's an extra bill you could knock off. That's an extra date night, right? That's an extra experience that you can give to the kids.
More money to invest.
More money to invest,
Right.
to get out of debt, pay off a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, it does, you getting those wins and you taking action also builds your confidence, not to mention the impact that you're having because you going out there and believing in yourself and taking action, right? We've gotten messages from people just saying, hey man, shout out to you guys because you guys have definitely changed my life, right? Because of what you guys shared with me, this is what I was able to do. I was able to buy a car. I was able to pay off debt. I was able to buy a house, right? I was able to double my income. What I'm making a year, I'm not making that on a monthly basis.
Mm-hmm.
And when somebody texts you that message, you're just like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see all of this happening, right? So you taking action on what is going to change your life is connected to something else that's going to change somebody else's life.
Yeah. So with that being said, it's just one of those things where, stop stalling on the idea, stop stalling on the dream, stop stalling on the things that you think is like the right reason for you to stall. Because if we had used and implemented DWA into our world when we first found out about it, we would have been making way much more money a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't
Yeah.
because of all the stalling tactics that, our brain was telling us, no, don't do this, don't do that. So it's just one of those things like, you hear the saying of sometimes you see the people who don't know so much, but get to where they're getting to because they just decided to take action.
Yeah.
And so, just decide to take action. I think one of the biggest things with us is we knew so much that instead of taking action, we did the opposite.
Yeah.
We just kept on reflection. It was just reflection, 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 discussion, reflection, reflection, discussion. So it's just take action, especially if you're in a position right now where you're like, financially, I'm not where I want to be. I'm working my 9 to 5. The money is still not enough. The price of everything is going up, but my check is not going up. There is ways for you to generate income outside of your 9 to 5 that does not require for you to go and punch in another 8, 12 hours to somebody else. We are in the era of 2025. We are in the era of digital. We are in the era of online. So it's like use this era to your advantage. Most of the millionaires that you're seeing nowadays are not people who's working in factories. They are people who decided to take the time that they're in now and they decided to expand their knowledge in what's happening now. So that's in AI, that's in digital products, that's in just learning what the industry in 2025 is giving. And let me see how I can use that and apply my skills, my gifts, my talents to it.
Yeah, one of the great thing about DWA too is DWA is not your final say, right? It's just a tool in your tool belt, right? DWA is just a tool in our business that we use because it's like, hey, instead of me going to go sit there for hours and record all of these videos, hey, somebody already did it, right? We've went through it. It helped us. We believe it can help you too. It's just like the iPhone, right? The iPhone is not your end all be all. It's just a tool that you use to communicate. It's a tool that you use Google Maps and to get to where you need to get to. And it's something that helps you. So you recommend it. Whenever you see somebody with an Android phone, you're like, hey man, you should go get an iPhone because that Android phone, is not the way to go. So just wanted to share that with you guys. It definitely helped us out. That's how that was the system and the tool that we used to make our first $1,000. And what made it special for us was we were still able to package our special skills, which is helping couples, helping parents, navigate as far as the side steps and the things they need to know with DWA. And that's why we created Couples Wealth Academy. That's why we created Secure the Bag with Bae, to just help couples move through the room and just have that success without just the stagnation and the delay and just dealing with imposter syndrome.
Right.
Right.
If we're going to finish off, right, I wanted to say, what did it feel like when we made our first $1,000 with digital products in the online space? Tell me, what did that do for our marriage?
There's a song, I don't know if you know, it's a Lotto song that goes money, 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 money.
Is that a lotto?
They play it on the Lotto, but it
Okay.
came out. I think it came in the Fresh Prince. When that happened, it was like we about to be rich. But it felt good, man. It felt really good because your confidence goes up, your belief system goes up. You see other people do it. You're like, oh man, this is real. When the money hits your account, what you're able to do with it. One of the number one reasons people get divorced, well, the number one and number two reasons is financial and relational. So, if you're able to solve one of them, right, you put yourself a little bit farther away from that divorce side because you're solving the problems that can take you out.
Right.
So, being able to generate that additional income, it felt really good.
And what would you say that proved for our purpose?
It proved that God ain't done with you yet because, just when you thought network marketing was the way and it didn't work out for you, and you're like, man, I'm gonna go into digital products and that didn't work out for you, man, I'm gonna create another course and that didn't work out for you. And here comes somebody who created their own course and you're like, yeah, but that's not mine. But you go in there and you're like, man, I wanted to create something just like this. And you use it, it helped you, and you tell people about it, it helped them. It's like sometimes collaboration is a lot better than you doing it yourself.
Facts.
And that's what we've learned. Collaborate with people, collaborate with your partner. Just collaboration is a powerful thing.
And let's speak about this too. A lot of time people are thinking about social media, and a lot of the things that we're doing and a lot of the success that we have is because we are using online systems. We're using content. We're putting content out. This what right here that we're doing is a video. We're using social media. We're using all the free advertising to our advantage. Instead of me just scrolling, I'm scrolling for me to learn how I could do better content so that I could make more money. So let's talk about the fact that, a lot of people are waiting if they're using content to have a viral moment. And is a viral moment necessary, or is it just mainly like, I need clarity?
I think you need clarity first,
Mm-hmm.
because when you have clarity, you can be consistent in your execution.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're consistent in your execution, that viral moment will come, right? The viral moment helps, but you don't want to go viral for the wrong thing,
Right.
right? I've seen people go viral for the wrong thing and it hurts them. I've also seen people go viral and they don't have the clarity as far as what to do with that moment, right? So if you have the clarity as far as who you are, what direction you want to go, and then you consistently show up, I believe the viral moment will come. You don't know when it's going to come. And people will tell you, hey, there's a science to it, there's a formula to it. I believe the formula to viral is consistency. You have to consistently do the right things, and then eventually one of them will hit.
Right.
Do you know which one will hit?
No.
You kind of have an idea, because there are times I've made posts and I'm like, babe, this one gonna hit. And I come back later, 200 views. And then there's times I make a post, I'm like, babe, this one gonna hit. And I come back later, 400,000 views. And I'm like, I told you.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then I've seen you make videos where you're like, babe, can you make this video with me? And I'm like, I'm busy, not right now. And you get in your moment and you're like, I don't care if you don't help me. I'm going to make this video because I see a vision and the vision got to go out.
Right.
And you post it and boom, 700,000 views.
Right.
So, you know, I believe that the consistency will win, but you want to go viral for the right thing. And you want to go viral with everything in place. You want to
Right.
have your systems behind that setup.
Right. So guys, it was super exciting to touch on this topic, and we could have did an episode on how to make 10,000, but we wanted to do an episode on how to make your first $1,000, because if you can make your first 1,000, it's only up from there. So if you're a couple, if you're a parent, or if you're just an individual and you're looking to bring in an extra $1,000 a month, or if you're just looking to just learn how to tap into this digital space, listen, we have a Secure the Bag with Bae bundle, okay? And we're excited about it because not only do you get access to a whole bunch of things in there, but you also get access to us. And the fact that you get access to us is a big thing. And let me tell you why. One thing that we learned coming through our journey for the past close to a decade in entrepreneurship is the best way and the fastest way to get results is to get coaching and mentoring. And how much we usually charge people, babe? Let's talk about the money.
I mean, the last person we worked with, they did 6 figures in 90 days.
Yes.
Well, less than 90 days.
Correct.
And we charged her, it was a payment plan, but altogether about over 20 grand.
Yeah.
Right. But
it's 21,000.
our first payment was 5K.
Right.
It's usually like 5-6K.
Right. And so we just wanted to not block anybody's blessing, and we wanted to just create this Couples Wealth Academy. We wanted to do this Secure the Bag bundle so that we can share with you our expertise on how to just generate that extra income. Okay.
Yeah.
So Secure the Bag with Bae bundle is officially out, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, we're going to put a link for that in the description below. Also, we do have a free community as well. If you're like, man, I want to just come in and test the waters, put my foot in before I make that kind of commitment. It's a free community. It's a free Facebook group, Secure the Bag with Bae Facebook group. Get in there. We'll share some resources with you. If you got any questions, pop your questions in there. And we're really excited, man. But, if you don't know by now, digital marketing is one of the biggest skills that you can have. Digital products are one of the biggest leverage tools that you can leverage. And social media being here right now, like we're spending 2 to 3 hours a day on social media. So when we looked at it, it was like, it's a no-brainer. If I can get access to a program that teach me how to do all of that step by step, where I'm not wasting time, I'm not wasting money, I'm just able to get in and get some results. And I got a community of like-minded people that went through it, that can show me the ropes too. Hey, what do I have to lose? Right. So, you either going to pay to stay stuck, which is you're going to stay stuck and that's you paying, or you're going to pay to move forward. Right. So choose which one you want to pay for.
Yeah. Choose your heart.
Choose your heart. Yeah. So if you don't know us by now, we are the Entrepreneur Couple. I'm Dominique.
And I'm Felicia.
And like Les Brown said, he said it was a plum pleasing pleasure. I don't know if it's a plum pleasing pleasure, but man, it was awesome just sharing this message with you guys. So, what are you waiting for? Right? Your time is now. All right. We out.